In MediPlan, you can set up non-Alberta Health fee codes to be billed directly to the patient or insurance companies, etc. That is done under Data, Codes and Lookups, and then Fee. Under Fee, it also stores all Alberta Health codes, but private codes may be added. To do so, you click the Add button. You give the service code a name. Now, the name can only be 6 letters or numbers. So we'll start with, for example, copies. And copies of patient chart can be put in the description, which will print off in the invoice and receipt. If there's a specific amount, you can fill in the base amount. If this particular code, the amount always varies, you can leave it at 0 and change it on the fly. So for example, it might be 5 cents per page for your printouts. If the code will be no GST added, you check box GST exempt and non-AH code. Now for your private codes, you always want to give them a heading, so they're easily found. For example, these codes are pertaining to Office, so I'm going to give them a heading of Office. When you hit Save, it will just bring you to another add screen, so you can add another fee code. So let's go with DMED. So that could, in the description, could be driver's medical form, and it is $120, and it is to do with the Office and GST exempt and non-AH code. And then we're going to have S note, so that would be a sick note, and those are $25, and it is under the heading Office and GST exempt and non-AH code. Now you could have other codes, for example, if you sold product or something. So let's go with sun lotion, and that is sun lotion. That would be 60. So we can call this sun lotion 60. And the price on this may vary, so we'll leave that alone. There might be GST added on that. We are going to check non-AH code. And this heading could be product. And we might have sun lotion 30. So that would be sun lotion 30. Again, no specific price. There is GST, so I'm not going to check GST exempt. And it's going to go under the heading product, etc. Then we might have sun lotion 15 and our description. And it is going under the category product, heading product. And we might also do services. So there might be skin peel, so we'll call that a peel, and that is $250. There is no GST, it's not Alberta Health Code, and we can call this services. And we might also do laser. And laser. This is under services and non-AH code. And that one is going to be $200. So, after I save this, I've added all of my codes. Now I can close out of this screen. So, when I go back to fee, one of the main reasons we put it in a specific heading is because now that I've added the heading Office, Product, and Services, if I go to Office, I can see all the codes that I've added to it. So if I needed to adjust the price or description, I could come in here, double-click, and add anything I need. Another reason that we would put that in a heading is from the billing entry form. You might not always remember your code, so you can go under Fee, and you can also access the same list. So I could go to Office, and I could choose DMED and hit Done, and it will add it for me. What I can also do is Fee. For example, copies. We put copies under Office, and it's 5 cents a page. So when I pick it and hit Done, I can change my calls. So calls would be the amount basically. So if I did 20 copies, I would change my calls to 20 and it would calculate my amount for me. Also for private billings, if you primarily as a user do private billings, you can default your agency. So for example, on the billing entry form, when you open it up, it always defaults to Alberta Health. You can change that per user under other users, and I'm logged in as Tellen, so I want to change the Tellen user. I go to page 2 here and I can change my default agency for billing. As a user, I would, let's say, 80% of the time do private billing, so this just saves me clicks, as now when I go into my billing entry form, it's defaulted to PT, so I don't have to change it every time. Another thing you can do for your private codes, if they're billed often, under each sign-on, so that's basically under each physician, on page 3 here, there's a spot for the 10 most commonly used billing codes, which are the buttons on the top of the billing form. Now those can be added with private codes as well as there's this common billing pop-up area. So I can go add here, and I added copies, now this is the code you set up that you'd be entering here. So we also had appeal, we also had DMED for a driver's medical, etc. So if you add all of those codes under this drop box or these 10 shortcuts, from the billing form, you've got your 10 codes here, as well as the additional fee codes. I've added my private billing codes to here, so it's faster than having to go to fee and select the category and then choosing my code. As well as from the billing form, you do not have to look it up. If you know what the code is, you can go new bill and actually type it. Copies.